because the truth is that the cost of living crisis, the energy bills crisis, casts a long shadow in this country. And the reality, I mean, they can shout all they like, Madam Deputy. And the reality, I mean, they can shout all they like.
9 new offshore wind farms were among the record number of projects agreed in the Labour government's first renewable energy auction. Today, in the House of Commons, the new Energy Secretary, Ed Miliband, said this auction has produced a record number of solar projects, bolstering our mission for a solar revolution. We have powered forward with onshore wind, secured the largest commercial floating offshore wind project in the world, and got the offshore industry back on its feet. Absolutely marvellous moment today in the House of Commons when the new Energy Secretary, Ed Miliband, schooled Richard Tice of the Reform Party and 30p Lee, those climate change deniers, about clean energy and what it means for our pockets versus the old system of dirty fossil fuels.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Will the Secretary of State actually, who's obsessed with renewable energy, be honest with the British people? Because the truth is that the offshore wind turbines bid today are some 20% above current prices. The floating offshore wind is some 3 times the current prices. His own department, Madam Deputy Speaker, say that actually this requires subsidies of some £1.5 billion a year. That's before the extra transmission costs, before the constraint payments, before the compensation payments for blighting the countryside of my constituents, and before the cost of backup when the wind doesn't blow and the sun doesn't shine. So why would the Secretary of State be honest and tell the truth that renewable energy is more expensive, not cheaper?
Secretary of State.
I have to say that I'm interested in the honourable gentleman's intervention because his manifesto is basically for higher bills and to make people poorer. And you don't need to look into the crystal ball. You just need to look at the record, because the truth is that the cost of living crisis, the energy bills crisis, casts a long shadow in this country. And the energy bills crisis was not caused by our dependence on renewables. It was caused by our exposure to fossil fuels. And he just needs to understand this very basic point, which is that whether fossil fuels are produced in this country or internationally, they are sold on the international market. And that's why the British people paid the price and government forked out £94 billion. And the only way to get off the rollercoaster of international gas markets and take back control is to become a clean energy superpower.
Mr. Speaker, now then, this Secretary of State is absolutely living in a completely different world to my constituents, because they're not asking for this on the doorstep at all. This Secretary of State, by the way, Madam Deputy Speaker, is quite happy to spend £11.6 billion on climate aid abroad, £8.5 billion on GB Energy, yet rob our pensioners of £300 at the same time. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. When will my pensioners in Ashfield receive significant discounts on their fuel bills, and how much will it be by?
Yeah.
I could say to the honourable gentleman, by the way, I thought that they supported a publicly owned energy company in his party, but I may be wrong about that. I can absolutely say to him that this is the way to deliver lower bills for his constituents. And the reality, I mean, they can shout all they like, Madam Deputy, but the reality they have to face, and I know this is hard for him, the reality they have to face is this, which is, does he believe that continuing reliance on fossil fuels as a country, saying no to renewables, which I think is their position, will give us energy security? And the truth is that it won't. He says he agrees with me. Well, look, I look forward to him supporting our clean energy superpower mission.
One thing about the Reform Party MPs is that at least they do provide some good entertainment. Don't forget to comment below, let me know what you think, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and you can also click the notification button and it'll let you know when I've posted a video.